Player ratings then: Leeds United 1, Everton 2 at Ellen Road. A fantastic result for Carlo Ancelotti's Everton. It could have been about 4 or 5 or 6 if Dominic Calvert-Lewin had converted some of his opportunities. But you know what? It's a fantastic result. We saw an Everton performance in the first half that I think completely surprised us all. We all expected the low block and to hit on the counter-attack for the 90 minutes. And I don't think any of us thought we were capable of putting in that level of performance in the first half. We matched Leeds for intensity. We matched them for energy. We matched them for pace, we matched them for power, and we created chances and we got forward and we looked threatening. Second half was a little bit different. They were always going to come out and attack, and we were always going to have to defend and make sure that we don't lose the game, and that's exactly what we did. So let's get straight into it then. Robin Olsen's getting a 9 today. Very, 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 very solid performance. Made 3 or 4 really, really good saves in quick concession, albeit because he gave away a silly pass by, you know, playing Doucoure in awfully. But again, he made up for that with 3 really good saves. One which takes a deflection, and he does really well to get down and tip it to the side of him, and then another one on where he stops it on the line, and then another one. It was about a 2, 3, 4 saves in a row there within a matter of seconds to keep us in the game, and then he made another one a couple of minutes after that. I thought he was really, really solid today. Don't think he has anything wrong with the goal, to be perfectly honest with you. Don't think he's got any involvement in that. It's poor defending by Mason Holgate ultimately, but I thought he was really solid today, really composed, dealt with everything that he needed to deal with. Again, nothing really troubled him other than like I said, that goal, and he made a couple of really big saves, so he is getting a 9. Luca Dean's getting an 8.5. Again, going forward, really, really good, put in a couple of really good balls into the box. Obviously got a fantastic assist for the opening goal for Gylfi Sigurdsson, puts a really menacing ball into the area, and Gylfi comes onto it and you know, finishes it really, really well. But I thought he got caught a couple of times defensively. He got caught in the opening 10 or 15 seconds, and Ben Godfrey had to make up for him. But he was really, really solid today by Luca Dean. A much better performance than the one against Newcastle on Saturday. He was more menacing coming forward. He also slipped into that left midfield role, I think, in the second half when Michael Keane come on and Ben Godfrey pushed more over to left back. And, you know, we done a lot of defending in that second half, to be fair. So most of our chances were coming on the counter-attack and were created by Abdoulaye Doucoure. But in that first half, he was getting forward. He was putting balls into the box. He looked menacing. He gets another assist. That's 6 assists now in 12 Premier League games for him this season, an assist every other game. And I think that makes him the highest, the defender with the highest amount of assists so far. It speaks volumes. He's the best left back in the country, and I thought he put in a really, really solid shift today. On to Yerry Mina. Yerry's getting a 9. Really, really solid today. That first half, he was absolutely exceptional. Everything that come into him, he dealt with. He headed out. There was no panic. Everything on the floor he dealt with. There were a couple of times when he made ball busting runs through the entire middle of the park and passed them off to be it, Iwobi or Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison, and he was really, really solid. There were a couple of times as well that he was looking for an outlet, he was looking for a ball, and there wasn't quite one on, so he basically just turned his man, and more often than not, his man fell on his arse. I forgot to mention it in the instant match reaction, by the way. A couple of things I forgot to mention. One, we are going to go slightly off topic, but we've won a game, so one is that pitch. That pitch was absolutely atrocious today. It was like we were playing on an ice rink. It was like we were playing with skates on. Everybody was slipping and sliding left, right and centre. Marco Bielsa nearly got through 6 foot in the air, mate. He nearly ended up in row Z because I think it was Andre Gomes just completely slipped and went straight into him. It was an awful pitch today. I don't know what Leeds are doing beforehand, whether they've put a little ice rink underneath the grass or whether they've just decided to over heavily water the pitch. But it was like watching Bambi on ice for the entire game, and I think Everton done really, really well to sort of settle into that level of conditions, because I don't think it was great whatsoever. In fact, I think it was really poor. And secondly, the blatant handball in the second half where the ball comes over and the Leeds defender, I think it's Ayling, actively moves his arm towards the ball and it hits him on the arm, and VAR doesn't even bother looking at it. Again, shocking by VAR, and if it's not going to look at them, what's the point? But listen, going slightly off topic, just forgot to mention them in the instant match reaction, so thought I'd mention them. Yerry Mina, unbelievable. Absolutely fantastic today. 9 out of 10 performance. Very close to getting a 10 out of 10, but there were a couple of times there where I think he sort of got caught himself, but 99% of the time he was excellent. Absolutely excellent. Defended everything. That first half, he went really under the radar in that first half because Ben Godfrey was brilliant, Doucoure was brilliant, Richarlison was working hard, Dom was working hard, Iwobi was in the game, Sigurdsson and Gomes were excellent, but he went really, really under the radar in that first half, and I thought he was colossal. Every ball that Leeds attempted to put in, he dealt with. Every time Patrick Bamford had the ball, he was behind him, he was putting it out, he was clearing it, he was winning the aerial battles. He was just great today. In the second half, when we had to defend and when we had to revert back to that low block, I think he done really well, so he's getting a 9. Ben Godfrey, 10 out of 10. Absolute 10 out of 10 performance. We cannot play another minute of Premier League football this season without Ben Godfrey on that pitch in an Everton shirt. He is an absolute mountain of a man. Everything he does, he just does with ease. He does it calmly, he does it coolly. He's just excellent. He's absolutely excellent. Whether it's a player's got the run on him and he just puts it into gear 3 and he just accelerates and sees it out for a goal kick, or he gets the ball back, whether it's making a sliding challenge in the right areas, he's doing that consistently. Whether it's defending in the air, he's very good at doing that. Whether it's attacking back, keeping his position. There was a couple of counter-attacks that Leeds had in that first half where if Ben Godfrey would have committed, they would have played it behind him and they'd have been one-on-one with Robin Olsen, but he didn't. He understood that and he kept his line and we ended up defending it really, really well. I just thought he was perfect today. Absolutely perfect. Not often does an Everton player's put in a perfect performance, and even when I think they've been brilliant, I won't often say that, but Ben Godfrey did not put a foot wrong today. Not a foot wrong for the entire 90 plus minutes. Even when, like I said, even when Leeds are threatening down that side and they look like they've got a chance to put a ball into the box, he just goes over and stands in front of the attacker and he's like, nah, not today, mate, and he just sees it out for a goal kick. His acceleration, when he picks that ball up and gets running, if you're playing against him, you may as well stop because you're wasting energy, because he's faster than Usain Bolt, that fella. He's like lightning. He's like if you stuck a rocket and just went bang and turned it on, he just goes woof, and nobody's getting anywhere near him, and he either wins a foul or he plays it to somebody else in a good area, keeps the attack going and then reverts back. He was just fantastic today and he's getting a 10 out of 10 performance from me. Mason Holgate on the other side, starting at right back today. I've given him an 8 out of 10. Thought he was at fault for the goal. Messing about with the ball in the box, could have comfortably dealt with it, comfortably kicked it away, but he was messing about a little bit, and I did think there were a couple of occasions where he got caught positional wise and where he got caught messing about with the ball, but more often than not, another very, very solid performance by Mason. Dealt with pretty much everything that came down that right hand side, got forward on a couple of occasions as well, swung balls into the box. It was no surprise that they were attacking down their left hand side because of the quality that they have, and like I said, barring a couple of lapses of concentration, one being for the goal conceded, I thought Mason put in a solid performance today, so he is getting an 8 out of 10. Andre Gomes, giving him an 8.5 out of 10. Much, much better from Andre Gomes today, much better. In fact, a very surprising performance for me, because I looked at that team sheet at 6:30 tonight and I was seeing Andre Gomes and Gylfi Sigurdsson in the midfield pairing, and I seen that Leeds had Rafinha in there, and they had Calvin Phillips in there, and they had a whole load of players who bring energy and intensity and pace, and I thought, how is Andre Gomes and Gylfi Sigurdsson going to be able to put up with this level of intensity? Are they going to, is it going to be a usual ghost performance off the ball? But to be fair to both of them, and especially Andre Gomes, he was unbelievable today. He was fair to everything. When he had the ball, he calmed it down, he brought it forward, he won fouls in key areas. He didn't give the ball away on many occasions. He did once or twice, but not on many occasions. He brought it forward, and his passing range was really, really good. I just thought he put in a really solid performance today. And there might be some fans who say, no, he wasn't that great, you're just overhyping him because we won. Find me more than 3 times that Andre Gomes done something wrong in tonight's game, because I thought he was very, very, very solid. He's getting an 8.5. Gylfi Sigurdsson have given him the same 8.5, very similar, a little bit less involved in the game, but obviously got that goal in the first 5 minutes, which is a great finish, to be fair. It's an unbelievable ball over by Digne, and I spoke about it in the instant match reaction. I said if Everton concede that goal, I'm fuming, because the Leeds defenders just completely switch off. But to be fair to Gylfi Sigurdsson, something that we've criticised him a lot for recently, he makes that dart and run into the box and he puts it in the back of the net, and that's all you can ask. Ultimately, I don't care if the Leeds defence have switched off. I don't care if on Match of the Day they say how awful defending that. I don't care. What I care about is that Gylfi Sigurdsson made that dart and run. He's seen the danger, he's seen where the ball was going to come in, and he slotted it in the back of the net, and it was an excellent finish, excellent ball in, and a really calm finish by Gylfi. Other than that, I thought he was solid for the rest of the game. Got involved in the midfield battles, won the ball back, tackled well, did struggle in the second half a little bit. It's similar vein that Andre Gomes did. I thought Gomes was a little bit better on the ball in that second half, but both of them struggled. But that was because the play changed. Leeds were coming at us constantly. They were breaking forward. They were throwing everything at us, and we pretty much reverted back to type, which was the low back four, the low block, back four, and just defending. And that means that Gomes and Sigurdsson were sort of pushed out the game a little bit. But in that first half, I thought they were both excellent, and I don't think they particularly done anything wrong in the second half either. Sigurdsson just sort of faded out the game a little bit. Abdoulaye Doucoure next to them then, again, 10 out of 10 performance. Not often do I say a player is perfect, even though I've just said it 3 minutes ago about Ben Godfrey. I'm saying it again. Abdoulaye Doucoure did not put a foot wrong in tonight's game. He was absolutely outstanding from start to finish. He was fantastic, and what we've seen from Abdoulaye Doucoure today was something that we haven't seen a lot whilst he's been at Everton Football Club, but we have previously at Watford, and that was a player, a box-to-box midfielder, bringing the ball forward, creating chances, playing it to Calvert-Lewin, playing it to Iwobi, playing it to Richarlison, a box-to-box central midfielder, and he was absolutely outstanding today. Not only his defensive work and his duties of picking the ball up in key areas, getting the ball out when we needed him to, also was battling in midfield, but his mindset was very much, he read every bit of play today, every bit of play he read, and it was a tough game because, like I said, the conditions were dreadful, the pitch was awful, but he read every slip of a Leeds player, every intricate turn that he needed to make. He was perfect today, much like Ben Godfrey. I can't split them. Ask me for a man of the match, they're both getting it. I cannot split them because I thought they were absolutely exceptional, a pair of them. And Abdoulaye Doucoure, like I said, we've saw a box-to-box midfielder there today, and a player who was bringing the ball forward and creating chances. That ball to Calvert-Lewin in the second half is excellent, and Dom really should finish it. He really should do much better. But it's an excellent ball through to him, and we saw a number of those from Abdoulaye Doucoure. So he is getting a 10 out of 10 today. Unbelievable performance. Alex Iwobi, I'm giving him a 7.5. Really good first half. Thought he was direct, thought he was coming forward, thought he was creating chances. But the second half really did tire a little bit. Done his defensive duties well, to be fair, throw the tackles in when he needed to, got us forward when he needed to on a couple of occasions as well, but was quite wasteful in that second half. And there was one incident that really frustrated me, and it was Dominic Calvert-Lewin's got the ball, and it's a too tight of an angle to shoot in. He's got a good chance to put it in the back in the danger area, and Alex Iwobi just doesn't sniff the chance and doesn't make the dart and run. And I think ultimately Dom takes the shot, and it's the keeper makes a comfortable save. But if Alex Iwobi does what Gylfi Sigurdsson did in the first half and sees that danger and makes that dart and run, then maybe Dom can play that ball across and find him. But ultimately he doesn't, and we see the game up. But it was a different second half performance, so I don't necessarily blame Richarlison for not being as attacking or Alex Iwobi for not being as attacking, but I thought he was decent in the first half, was getting forward, won the ball back in a couple of really good areas, dribbled really well as well. So I've given him a 7.5. Richarlison again, 7.5, very similarly, worked as absolute gonads off in that first half, as absolute gonads, didn't stop running, didn't stop creating, didn't stop getting forward, but second half very frustrating for him, and I think we saw that when he come off and he sort of dipped his head and he didn't look very happy. One thing I would say is Richarlison needs to have his head up today, because there'll probably still be a lot of critics because he didn't score or he wasn't involved in either of the goals. But one thing I would say is he was a lot better today than he was on Saturday. He was more direct, he was beating players, he had a couple of shots, he was more creative, he was less wasteful with the ball. When he couldn't beat a player, he wasn't just giving it away, he was turning back, he was passing it back. Yes, there were a couple of times where he was quite frustrating and he maybe didn't make that dart and run, but I thought his work rate was exceptional, certainly in that first half, defended well. And like I said, it is frustrating, and it will continue to be frustrating until he gets on the goal sheet. And maybe he's sort of thinking, I want to play a little bit more directly up front now because I want to get goals, whereas playing on the wing, he has to do a lot more work defensively, and you might be able to criticise Carlo Ancelotti for that tactic, but ultimately again, it's frustrating to see Richarlison not scoring goals, but it was a better performance today, so he is getting a 7.5, similar to Alex Iwobi. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I've given him an 8. Now I might be a little bit generous with this one, to be honest. Dom scored the winning goal, so ultimately he's won the game for us there, and that's exactly what he's there to do. That's exactly what a centre forward's there to do, and it's a great goal. It's a brilliant ball in by Gylfi Sigurdsson. Ben Godfrey nods it on, and Dom's at the back post to finish it exactly where he should be. It's a poacher's finish, but I just think he had 3, 4, maybe even 5 other really good opportunities. Definitely 2 other golden opportunities In fact, 3 other golden opportunities, 2 in the first half, one where the ball deflects and he's got it on the edge of the box and he hits it with his left and he just hits it straight into the keeper. Another one in the first half where I think Doucoure plays an excellent ball into him and he's got Richarlison on his left and he decides to cut inside and his shot is far wide. And one in the second half where we've got a chance to kill the game off. Last 10 minutes, counter-attack and got a chance to kill the game off. Doucoure plays an unbelievable pass to him and he sort of, instead of going with the left and curling it round or chipping it over the keeper with the right, he sort of just toe pokes it into him. And I don't know whether that's him rushing his decisions. Look, one thing we all know Dominic Calvert-Lewin is amazing at is them poachers goals, them headers at the back post, them getting on the end of balls, them headers, when it's 6 foot in the air, he gets on the end of him. And one thing we know he needs to improve on is one-on-ones in front of goalkeepers, is finishing when he's under pressure, is having that composure, having that quality. And that's what separates him from being a really good centre forward, what he is now, and a world-class player, is having that composure in those moments to just kill a game off. And he didn't have that today, and like I said, I was frustrated with Dom's performance. Ultimately, he worked his bollocks off and he scored the winning goal, so I'm not going to sit here and criticise him, but I just think he could have had a couple more on a different day, and I think he should have done a little bit better with a couple of them as well. But look, he's won the game for us. He's got his goal again. Maybe it was a little bit of a confident thing. Maybe he just panicked on a couple of occasions, but he hadn't scored in, I think, 5 Premier League games, and he's back amongst the scorers tonight, which is really important, and he's won us the game. So Dom's getting an 8. Onto the bench then, Tom Davies getting a 7. Come on, broke the play up a little bit, made a couple of challenges, worked hard, didn't do anything that really, changed the game. Josh King, same, didn't have many touches of the ball, but, defended and got back and helped out, so he's getting a 7. And Michael Keane's getting an 8. Slotted in at a really important time, defended really well for us, saw the game out comfortably, and again, had a couple of times where he had to clear the ball and he done it really well, so he's getting an 8. And Carlo Ancelotti is getting a 10. That first half performance was so refreshing to see. I haven't seen an Everton performance like that in a long time. And yes, the second half was a little bit harder. It was a bit more frustrating, but we saw the game off and we've won it. And it's a big win and it's a reaction. Carlo Ancelotti wanted a reaction and that's what he got tonight. And hopefully we can go on and we'll play a difficult Man United team on Saturday and hopefully we can get something out of that. Massive thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. We've got the Insta Match reaction, that's out, so you can check that one out. A little bit more of my in-depth thoughts on the game in itself. And we also put out a January transfer window roundup video about 10 minutes before the game. Stupid decision by me because I knew everybody was going to be like, I don't want to watch that shite cam, I'm watching the game. But it is a really good video. Joined by Cal to talk about the January transfers and round up our window as a whole. So if you haven't checked that out whilst you're in a good mood and you want some late night entertainment, that's there to check out as well. Massive thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like. Massive win for the Toffees. Get in, up the Toffees, and we go again on Saturday. Big thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.